Hi folks, Jeremy here from Neat. We're just going to go through some of the updates we've had. We've just dropped our new firmware, which is 24.3 on the auto updates channel, and we're just going to go through some of the features it's bringing in for everyone, because it's quite a long list. So in our settings, you'll see that we've actually added in our accessibility tab, the option to turn on HDMI audio out for assisted listening devices. That means if you've got a spare HDMI output on a bar or a board, what we'll do is we'll get all the audio that's coming into the room, normally through the speakers, and we'll mirror that out of the HDMI cable, so you can put it into like a hearing induction loop or something like that. Really, really useful. Also, next up on the list, we've got on our display settings, HDMI screen mirroring. This is kind of the same as I just talked about, but adding in the video element as well. That basically means that, hey, if you took this Neatboard 50 and you wheeled it into a room that's got a big projector or something like that, instead of turning it into a two-screen Zoom room or Microsoft Teams room, it'll actually just mirror the output up onto the big projector LED wall or something like that. Also means if you're installing a bar, you could use that feature, turn it on, and then you could have like a repeater display further down the room or something instead of a two-screen system. So really, really useful. A lot of people have asked for that. We've also had the ability to change device name over DHCP option 12. A lot of people have asked for that, so you need to go into our web GUI and you can apply that as well. We've got some improved edition kind of setup. So if we go into our device menu, you can now see you've got the option to add Neat Pad and add Neat Center. So we've brought all this together in one single menu. And when you go on that as well, you can see, you know, the status updates on all of those devices. Nice and easy to see. Looking back at my list, audio switching. So now if you've got a Neat Center and you pair it to one of our bars or our boards, not only will it use the 60 microphone array at the Neat Center for all those people that are nearer that device, but then if you're over nearer the board that's paired to it or something like that, what will happen then, it will seamlessly fade and it will be using those microphones. Somebody pipes up over nearer the center, it'll be using the microphones nearer to them as well. So basically we've got the capability of really getting a lot closer audio to the people speaking in larger spaces as well. Really, really big benefit there. We've also added all of the voice isolation tools that we have and all of our products into the Neat Center as well. So really, really good at getting rid of lots of that room echo, unwanted noise and things like that. We've also just taken our third-party USB for the Neatbar Pro. That is now out of beta. That's because we've been working with Shure. We've got a full partnership now, so you use their P300 or some of their other DSP microphone solutions. It means that you could have a very, very large room, plug in a Neatbar Pro, and you can benefit from all of their audio processing. You can pick wireless microphones out of the docks, you could have ceiling microphones and speakers, all of that. And all the mic mute syncs will work really nicely as well, from the pad and onto the device as well. So you can mute on the wireless microphone or something like that and it'll work really nicely. We've also had loads of improvements on our camera tunings. So the Neat Centers had lots of improvements around white balance and the way that it frames everybody. So that's just, you know, the machine learning is getting a lot stronger, so it's getting more and more reliable for if people are moving around and in more difficult rooms. And the sensor's working really, really well now at up to a 5 meter radius, so we can do kind of a 10 by 10 meter room quite comfortably with the Neat Center. So it's getting really, really powerful. And also the Neatbar 2, Generation 2 has had a bit of a fine tune as well to the camera since it got launched a few weeks ago. You'll see improvements on all of our cameras coming on leaps and bounds over the coming months and years with the camera tuning that we've got going on there. We're also bundled in with our firmware, the latest software. So you'll see with Teams Room, we're using now version 2.2. So if you hadn't already installed this on TAC, you've now got this installed onto your devices, hopefully. And that just brings a few things really nicely. The new QR code, you can turn this off, but for people that have it turned on their new display, basically you can walk up with the phone and it will not only book the room, but it will, it'll dial the room into your meetings. You don't even need to touch the board or the pad or anything like that. You just scan it with your phone, say, yep, that's the meeting I want to join, and it all happens instantly. Really, really nice. Again, for people that haven't booked a room or forwarded the meeting, you can go to join with ID, and you can enter the meeting ID and also passcode as well. And you can also ensure that when you start up an instant meeting that it requires a passcode to go in. So they're bringing in more and more options for joining. And you'll see it's just had a bit of a revamp in the way that the calendar looks and the kind of the size of the buttons and everything. So something to definitely have a look at. If we come over here, Zoom Rooms 6 has been launched with our firmware as well. And that brings in quite a few really, really cool benefits. My favorite is this new one called Switch to Companion Zoom Rooms. So if I click on that, I compare it to the room. I put in the code so I can wheel it into any Zoom room I've got. You pair it, and then this turns into a companion board. So that means that this alternate camera view goes into the call and people can pin that. Everything that's being shared on the bar happens on the board. I can initiate the call on the board, do whiteboarding, and it all gets shared onto the bar and into the call. So it's really, really nice the way that works, because you can set it up in Zoom Device Manager to say, when you hang up a call, then it will just automatically unpair as a Zoom room. I've got it set up so I have to physically just say unpair, and it works really nicely as well. So it's great for demos. There's loads of options there. Also within Zoom Room 6, looking at my notes again, HDMI in as digital signage, so you can get your HDMI input source from a digital signage player or something like that, and you can set rules, and that'll all work really, really nicely. And we've got PEXIP CVI guest join integration now. So basically, if you are heavy Teams users, but you want to utilize Zoom rooms, you can get your licensing from PEXIP, and whether you are the host or not, it'll utilize your PEXIP licenses, and it will give you a Teams-like experience, including a dual screen. It'll give you the kind of layout that everybody's used to with using Microsoft Teams rooms, and also HDMI ingest is working really, really nicely as well. So it's definitely something to take in mind. A lot of people are taking advantage of that now with Zoom Room 6. Last points, dynamic layouts improvements. So if I go into a meeting, basically you'll see, and Joe and Daniel are on the call there. If I go to my view page, dynamic layouts get added when there's a certain amount of users. And more importantly as well, camera control have had a nice big update. So we can see here, it actually dictates on a picture what you're doing with your camera modes. So if we go to multi-focus mode, it's showing that all these people are scanned and put into a single frame. Click on to multi-stream, and it'll explain what's happening, and it will show that they're all going into individual streams. Manual, click on that and you get all your manual control and presets. So lots and lots of updates there, but all very familiar user interface. They've just kind of improved it somewhat. That's a very, very quick rundown of all the improvements we made on our Neat firmware, the Microsoft Teams Room application, and also Zoom Rooms as well. So if you have any questions at all, just reach out to myself or any of the UK and Ireland sales team, and good to see you.